D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds, and welcome to my weekend review where I come to you every Sunday with 3 entertainment stories that I personally find interesting, and then we discuss them down below. Also down below, you can find the articles that I read to bring you this episode, and you can read those and come up with your own opinion and all that stuff, or you can just watch this video and listen to me. So before I get started, I just want to if you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is going to do their annual bot cleanse and old account purge, and there usually is a little bit of collateral damage. Not sure why, but there is. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So let's just get started on these 3 stories. So for my first story, a verdict has been reached in the Johnny Depp versus the Sun newspaper. The Sun newspaper was found not guilty on the charges of libel from Johnny Depp. And the incident in question was an article that the Sun published claiming he had assaulted his ex-wife actress Amber Heard. Now, Depp and Heard had a very public and ugly falling out starting in 2016 when Heard filed for divorce from Depp. Now, regarding his loss in court over the Sun's article, Depp's lawyer, Jenny Afia, I'm not sure if that's how you say her name, said that this decision is as perverse as it is bewildering. The judgment is so flawed that it would be ridiculous for Mr. Depp not to appeal this decision. Sorry about that. In her full statement, Johnny Depp's lawyer said that the following via the BBC News. This decision is perverse as it is bewildering. Most troubling is the judge's reliance on the testimony of Amber Heard and corresponding discard of the mountain of counter evidence from police officers, medical practitioners, her own former assistant, other unchallenged witnesses, and an array of documentary evidence which completely undermined the allegations point by point. The judgment is flawed that it would be ridiculous for Mr. Depp not to appeal this decision. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We'll get into it just a little bit more. Let me finish reading this. So the Sun had its own spokesman address the court in this ruling, and he stated, domestic abuse victims must never be silenced, and we thank the judge for his careful consideration and thank Amber Heard for her courage in giving evidence to the court. There are potentially big ramifications for Johnny Depp when it comes to this ruling. On this case, it wasn't a criminal trial, but the ruling required the judge to take a close examination of the 14 counts of domestic violence that the Sun had alleged in its 2018 article. I think it was just online, not like in their actual paper. And the title was Gone Potty, How Can J.K. Rowling Be Genuinely Happy Casting Wife-Beater Johnny Depp in the new Fantastic Beasts film? Now, ultimately, the judge ruled that 12 of the 14 counts in the article proved to be substantially true, which means that there is now an official court ruling that lends credit to Amber Heard's accounts of the frightening ways that Depp allegedly initiated and or abused her. The judge, like, literally in the thing called him a wife beater. Like, it's crazy. Like, just give me 2 seconds. That opinion from the judge will put a big stain on Depp's reputation, as the actor has working relationships with big studios like Disney in his Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and with Warner Brothers in Fantastic Beasts, that franchise, and then the Harry Potter franchise, which have certain kinds of reputational standards to maintain. Now, Depp may have another shot to repair his reputation. The actor is currently embroiled in a separate lawsuit against Amber Heard regarding the 2018 piece, which she did for the Washington Post, which offered the premise that she was a survivor of domestic abuse via her relationship with Depp. Depp already released a set of audio recordings he thought supported his version of the story and could still potentially win that case. And he did. He put out a video recording, which did point out that Amber Heard was also an abuser in the relationship. If you look at some of the transcripts, and I'm going to put some of those up right now, this case was crazy. Like, these two were in a toxic relationship. I mean, by definition, their relationship was a toxic relationship. These two were crazy. They hurt each other. She, like, cut off the tip of his finger. I guess she took a shit in his bed, or her friend did. He accidentally headbutted her. She put out picture. I mean, like, she came with receipts to this thing. I mean, there's pictures and stuff, you know, of her bruises and all that stuff, and it's pretty crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've been in fights with this stuff, with people over this stuff, because, you know, you get two sides of the thing. It's very obvious that both of these people are in the wrong. I mean, come on. But in saying that, I am one of these people that believe that you have to separate the art from the artist. So I don't think that Johnny Depp or Amber Heard should be taken out of their respective franchises. Amber Heard should still be in Aquaman 2. I've heard from other people online that Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's, the Warner Brothers, is filming their parts so that way they can be significantly reduced in the films if this problem continues. And personally, I just think that they should just drop it, because it's not looking good on either part. They both look like bad people. I mean, they're both just like, it's just crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say on that. So, what's up, nerds? I just want to jump in here real quick because I filmed this video on Thursday, and there was an update on today, Friday, because I'm filming this update on Friday. And I just want to say that Johnny Depp posted on his Instagram this statement, and it says, and I'm throwing up the visual right now, and it says, "In light of recent events, I would like to make the following short statement. Firstly, I'd like to thank everybody who has gifted me with their support and loyalty. I have been humbled and moved by your many messages of love and concern, particularly over the last few days. Secondly, I wish to let you know that I have been asked to resign by Warner Brothers from my role as Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts, and I have respected and agreed to that request. Finally, I wish to say this. The surreal judgment of the court in the UK will not change my fight to tell the truth, and I confirm that I plan to appeal. My resolve remains strong, and I intend to prove that the allegations against me are false. My life and career will not be defined by this moment in time. Thank you for reading. Sincerely, Johnny Depp." And I have to say that as far as him appealing goes, that's his legal right to do so. As far as his fan support, like I said before, I think they're both toxic in this relationship, and, you know, there's no, I mean, like, you can support either one if you want, but I think that they both come off very badly. And I just want to say, as far as them firing Johnny Depp, because they resigned, they fired him, that's bull. I'm the kind of person, you separate the art from the artist, and this is not a clear-cut case where he's just a plain old wife beater. She clearly hit him also. She was an abusive one in the relationship, verbally and physically, and I think that to fire him is just ridiculous. I mean, you know, you're always gonna get those whiny mother that go to the theater and are like, I can't watch this now because there's a wife beater on the screen. And it's like, fine, go home. Nobody wants you here. I don't want you here. Get the out of here. So I just have to say, this really annoys me. Warner Brothers is a bunch of and they should step up, and like they'll keep Ezra Miller, who will choke out a pregnant fan and throw her to the ground, and they'll keep around J.K. Rowling because they need this franchise, because they're handing out their hand, they're holding out their hand because they need because their DCEU isn't working out as best as they thought it was, because they don't know how to run their so they'll keep J.K. Rowling around, who is obviously problematic. But Johnny Depp, they'll get rid of him right off the bat. If Amber Heard doesn't put out a statement that she got fired also, then this is just a clear case of sexism, and it's just bullshit. I'm really annoyed about this whole thing. So that's my update. Let's get on with the rest of this episode. That's my first story of the day, and my second story of the day is, okay, so the original Suicide Squad movie, which arrived in theaters back in 2016, was a substantial success at the box office, as well as an abysmal failure with critics. I mean, I don't know anybody that likes that movie. It was clear that there would be a sequel, but some changes would have to be made in order to enhance the quality of the franchise. Now, Warner Brothers looked to the accountant director, Gavin O'Connor, to take over the follow-up film, and there were many reports that stated his new direction for the franchise tied things into the world of Black Adam. And that was just a rumor that he would... we'll get into that in a minute. Give me 2 seconds. Now, a couple of years after those reports surfaced, it was like they've finally been confirmed, even though the iteration of the squad no longer exists. Now, after being briefly let go by Marvel Studios, Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn took over as filmmaker behind the scenes of the Suicide Squad, which will be both a sequel to David Ayer's film as well as a soft reboot for the series. Black Adam won't be included in Gunn's version of the upcoming sequel, but a piece in Empire magazine about the film confirms that the ancient character played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was indeed set to be the villain in a previous version, instead of taking on the role of the antagonist in the Suicide Squad. Black Adam will be starring in his own solo film, which will be set to begin production sometime in the near future. Now, this will likely set up a conflict with Zachary Levi's Shazam that can be resolved in a future film, probably in the Shazam 2. Now, there will likely be a central villain in the Suicide Squad, but what makes this franchise unique is that all of the characters are villains in their own right, even though they're taking on the role of the protagonist. With this in mind, Gunn knew he had the freedom to do whatever he wanted to the entire band of characters, and he even said so. He said, I think, from pretty close to the beginning, that all the Guardians are good, apart from Nebula, who's the outliner. But the Suicide Squad, some of the characters end up being good, some end up being terrible. They don't just get into fights and say they're going to kill each other. They actually get into fights and kill each other. You really don't know who's going to live and who's going to die. I was given full freedom to kill anyone, and I mean anyone. And that was by DC. So what I have to say about this is, so the rumors were back when Gavin O'Connor was going to do the Suicide Squad movie, which I'm kind of bummed that he didn't get to do it. So his version was the Suicide Squad is going to another country to capture a weapon of mass destruction, and it was going to be Black Adam. Then he went to, they were going to save a little girl, and then Margot Robbie took that storyline from him into her shitty Birds of Prey movie, and then he had to go back to the weapon of mass destruction. And it looks like that those rumors are true from this, that the Black Adam was going to be the, sorry, I have something in my eye, was going to be the power source that they, or the weapon of mass destruction that they were going to go and get back, which is very fascinating. A small piece of me wishes they would have done that. That would have been super fun. So that's my second story of the day. So for my third story and final story of the day, filmmaker Neil Marshall offered audiences his debut feature film back in 2002 with the werewolf film Dog Soldiers. I love this film. I can't tell you how much I love this film. Anyways, with Marshall recently noting that the possibility of getting a sequel to that adventure is currently better than ever. In the decades since the film's debut, Marshall's profile has grown on an annual basis, going on to tackle some of the biggest episodes of HBO's Game of Thrones and delivering us last year's Hellboy starring David Arbor. But despite those high-profile projects, the filmmaker pointed out that he gets more questions about Dog Soldiers sequel than anything else, that his filmmaking partners on the project are all just as passionate about revisiting that world as ever. Me too. Oh my gosh, I love that movie. And well, I'll talk about that in just a second. So this is what he said. There's more of a chance now than ever before, and he confirmed that with Den of Geek. There's things in the works, and we're seeing what we can do. Certainly myself and Gavin McKidd and Dog Soldiers producer Chris Fig are up for it to revisit this world. Over the past 18 years, the question I get asked pretty much more than anything else is, when are we going to get Dog Soldiers 2? Part of me thinks I'd like to go back and revisit that world somehow, And if Kev's up for it, then that would make it worthwhile for sure. He also added that, so we'll see, you never know, which I think is just super great. Now, in the film, a group of Scottish soldiers embark on what they assume to be a typical exercise, only to encounter werewolves in the wilderness, pitting the soldiers against the beasts in a brutal battle, with the film being crafted ahead of CGI effects becoming the go-to technique for bringing mythological beasts to life. The film is often lauded with its practical effects and for finding a unique angle to tell a werewolf story. Now, Dog Soldier star Sean Pertwee, I don't know if that's how you say his name, went on to note how the concept was always planned as a series of films and detailed what continued adventures could potentially look like. And he said, initially it was written as a trilogy. The actor then said the second one was about the science of creating dog soldiers. He then said the special ops come in and they do the scrape with DNA, and then they grow it in the tubes, and in the final film we were to become dog soldiers, half men, half lycanthrope, which I thought would have been so super cool, and we were all very excited by it. Now, while it's unknown when or if a sequel is actually feasible, knowing that those responsible for the original film are still interested in a follow-up is very promising, and I find it very exciting. So I think that, just stay tuned for, details of that coming out. And I just have to say, I love Dog Soldiers. That movie is so good. They the practical effects are so good. I love practical effects, and I think that those costumes, it's my favorite werewolf look out of any werewolf movie. I love it. I think it's really great. And I just think the movie is really solid too. It's so good. I love that movie. If they make a sequel, I'll be super happy about it. So tell me, how do you guys think about the Johnny Depp story? Do you agree with Amber Heard? Do you agree with Johnny Depp? Are you like me and you think they're both psycho? And everything. How do you feel about the Suicide Squad, the original with Gavin O'Connor doing it and having Black Adam in there as the power source and everything? And are you still excited about that? How do you feel about Dog Soldiers possibly getting a sequel? Probably not, but possibly. Nothing's impossible. And how do you feel about Dog Soldiers? Did you like that movie when it came out? Did you see that movie when it came out? Do you have the action figures? Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week on my Week in Review. You guys have a good week. Bye. Hey nerds, if you like this video, go ahead and click that Geek What icon and subscribe. And if you like this video, go ahead and join me every Sunday with my Week in Review.